Good morning, everyone. This is Fulton at Lute Radio. Today is November 3rd, 2020. This is my music room, of course. One thing that's totally not laser related, but I'd like to say, please go check out the link in the description of this video to the GoFundMe of a local arcade that I used to frequent, the Machine Shop. Very formative place, saw dozens and dozens of gigs there growing up. Great place for local music, and they're really going through it right now with this whole shutdown. So if you guys could go check out that link and donate what you can, it'd be much appreciated. I don't know, all ages gigs and venues are for everyone. So anyway, I've listened to a lot of music these past 2-ish weeks. The stream special was kind of boring. It's just me talking about music in a very boring white room. But anyways, CDs. Stan Getz, Y'all Gilberto. It's an okay album. This one has a bunch of scratches on it, so I kept on hearing the same sax solo over and over on a few tracks. But overall, great jazz album. I see the bossa nova influence and how it really made it popular. Very cool, very chill. Up next, the Real Sounds, Wendy's Echo. I'm probably, butchering that name. Zimbabwean, rock, pop. It's like Zimbabwean Isley Brothers is the vibe I get. Super tight. Been listening to this in the car. It just makes you want to groove. The horn section, the solos, the rhythm is just pounding. One song I really like is Tornadoes versus Dynamos 3-3. It's recounting a soccer match. And it's just so intense, especially if the guy's spoken word narration. Found this the other day. Trout Mask Replica, Captain Beefheart, and his Magic Band. Never listened to this before. I know, that it exists, and for some reason it's really popular. I didn't get it at all, and then I read the Wikipedia page. I'm like, okay. I see what they're doing, and then kind of hopped in the cut. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. I don't know, it's just, they're doing it bad on purpose, but it's just weird. There's moments of extreme, oh yeah, this is gonna get good, and then it just explodes, and it's horrible. But, I mean, it's something different. I really like, what song is it? Sugar and Spikes is pretty good. Hair Pie Bake One, that's a good track. And then, Old Fart at Play, Veterans Day Poppy, I don't know, at the end they just can't come full circle. But I guess the CD copy is really rare. I got it for $1, not $10 as it says on there. Up next, Flying Lotus, Cosmo Gramma, great IDM jazz. Fly Low is insane. This is my first real album of his. I really like the art. It's just amazing. It's super invigorating. Makes you want to go out and do stuff. Great album. Recommend it. And then Pearl Jam 10 Redo. This is just the remaster from 2010, collector's edition. I got 2 of these by accident. My dad has the other one. But great. Sounds a lot better. The mix is clear. It's not, brick-walled. You can actually hear a second guitar. You can actually hear Stone Gossard playing rhythm guitar, which is nice. Anyways, lots of vinyl coming up. I've been just listening. It's been really relaxing. Claypool, Lennon Delirium, Blood and Rockets, 10-inch backed with Easily Charmed by Fools. It's on this awesome splatter vinyl I'll show you. I picked this up at Silver Platters last year. I was with my buddy Grafton. Shout out to him. Great guy. Les Claypool and Sean Lennon, John Lennon's son, one of them. Just crazy psychedelic rock that's really funky. It has the Claypool eclectic vibes, but the Tomorrow Never Knows and the more psychedelic Sgt. Pepper's side with Sean. But of course, Sean brings in his own twist with things. Definitely recommend checking out the album that's on, South of Reality. Up next, had to do some reading, so I popped on Bill Evans' Trio Moonbeams. Speaks for itself. I've shown this before. Classic Bill Evans, just, playing a little modal, playing a little jazzy, very smooth, very relaxing. Jazz trios are in fact my favorite thing in the world to read to. Writing an article on Sunday at the Village Vanguard right now. Up next, Krungbin, Mordecai. I celebrated my birthday this last Saturday with this album. I hadn't listened to Mordecai in full for a while, especially on vinyl. The Skywave edition looks cool, but it doesn't sound so great. I have to pick up a black copy. Sounds really compressed on the first side. But yeah, Krungbin's definitely my favorite band in the world right now. Mordecai definitely, doesn't set the same vibe as the other albums, but it's special. I think I'm going to grow to like it even more. The songs, you kind of have to look at them individually, not as a whole piece of telling global literacy or something. But yeah, Mordecai is pretty solid. Definitely a Pelota, First Class, and Conasis de Fis. Good stuff. This one was springed from a recent adventure I had, Unknown Mortal Orchestra, Sex and Food. This album just came out at such an interesting time in my life, and I picked it up then. It was like maybe half a year, maybe a year after it came out, and it just, it came to me, it spoke to me. It's a great album. It's like poppy, but rocky, and electronic-y, and everything that, what's his name? Ruben. What is it? Ruben Nielsen? Probably butchering his name, but it's, everything he does it's so intentional, and it feels natural too. It doesn't feel forced or cursed. It's also on pink vinyl, very beautiful, as you can see. Yeah, and honestly, like Honeybee, it's one of their most popular songs, but it never fails to be great. And I think this album is kind of like a OK Computer, a brief inquiry into online relationships album. I think we're gonna realize that in the next coming years, especially with like American Guilt, God called hubris. Like if you're going to break yourself, not in love or just high, like these things are happening to my generation, and I think we just need to be open, and like us that are hip to this stuff really know these lyrics are hitting hard and actually the truth of what we're experiencing. Now we're gonna go back in time again. Abbey Road, Beatles. Once again, spawned by the adventure. I haven't listened to this album in a while. It's a staple. It's a classic. Whatever you want to say. I think it's the Beatles, definitely at their best. I get into a Beatles album at a rate of 1 per year. This one came to me a couple years ago, and it's coming back to me again. Can't speak for itself. And something. Check out the Wolfpack cover on their latest album, The Art of Music, The Joy of Real Estate. It's a great cover with Theo on lead vocals, and Bernard Purdie on drums, pulling out a Purdie shuffle. Up next, King Crimson, Red. Another album that speaks for itself somewhat. 1974, King Crimson goes into the studio. This band never played live. Fripp, Wetton, and Bruford. I'm reading Bill Bruford's autobiography right now. It's horribly biased, and it's kind of sexist at times, but it's interesting. This is a great starting point for anyone looking to get into heavier King Crimson. If you like the more metal stuff, and you can see how Tool and other 90s bands like Primus a little bit, like just the heavier stuff, is really influenced by King Crimson, especially with the song structure, the starts and stops, and it showcases, how important a rhythm section is if you're going to do music like that. Personally, favorite song on this album, One More Red Nightmare. It's so much fun to play on guitar, except for that fancy little part that happens halfway through the song that I still don't know how to play. Up next, Krungbin, Live at Lincoln Hall. This is a pretty rare pressing, pretty rare album. They should have just released it digitally as well. But yeah, I got this back in the day when it came out. Spent a lot of money for the crew that November, probably over like $300. But yeah, if you want to see what Krungbin is about live, and you have the funds to secure like an official release, this is it. Amazing stuff. You really see how powerful they are and how cohesive they are as a group. Personally, favorite track is definitely has to be the Lady and Man. That live cut with Mark's guitar work is just amazing. I can't wait to see where this band goes in the future. And as you know, I'm a huge Khruangbin fan. I could get into it, but yeah. Hopefully to see them again in the near future. Up next, Yves Tumor, Heaven to a Tortured Mind. This album is like it's like Prince meets a little bit of Marvin Gaye, meets a lot of other stuff, and is super dark. Yves is a totally awesome person. They play almost everything on this album. Bring in lots of friends. The liner notes are so detailed. This is definitely one of the best albums of the past year. The inside art is also amazing. He's so gothic, kind of, dark. It's kind of Cure-ish. Also really, lack for better words, BDSM is kind of a vibe that he gives off. But, Yves Tumor. I believe they use they, them. My bad. But yeah. It's just an amazing album. Solid from front to back. Very cohesive. Gospel from New Century is like one of the lead singles off of it. It's still amazing. Same thing with Kerosene. But if I had to point to any song that, to really get into Yves Tumor, definitely Strawberry Privilege. Speaks about a lot of important stuff. Much like Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Next, Bitches Brew, Miles Davis, 1969. You're on marijuana with your friends. And then you go to the record store and you're like, Miles Davis, this isn't the jazz I was thinking of. Yeah, it's not. This is early jazz rock, early fusion. Very famous album. The gatefold art is amazing. It's definitely what makes the album. Look at that. Bam. That's an empowering piece. Reminds me of my place in the world as a white male. That's cisgendered. A lot of good people play on this album. Wayne Shorter, Lenny White, Chick Corea, Jack DeJohnette, John McLaughlin, even Billy Cobham's on this album. It's definitely spawned a lot of future fusion legends. Very long. You just kind of follow where the band goes, and it's all about just those musical sketches that Miles had, and giving them a chord or giving them a key to play in and seeing where the band can go, and putting limitations on the drummers or on the keys, and having them expand within those limitations. It's something really organic and real. It showcases the great interplay, and is a foundational album in the canon of jazz. Up next, Chicano Batman, Freedom is Free. I saw this band with Khruangbin back in the day, back in 2017 when concerts were happening. One of my most formative bands. Songs still hit me today. I go back into my pre-pubescent, middle pubescent self and really get into it. Great, modern soul, funk, and, they're Chicano, from East LA, different neighborhoods, great band. If you look at the album art, that's pretty relevant to our current political and social climate. Take with that what you will. Up next, as you know, Neil Young, Hitchhiker, kind of a compilation studio outtake album from the mid-70s. Just has a bunch of acoustic versions of popular songs that showed up on Live Rust Never Sleeps, whatever. Just relaxing Neil, mixed in mono, so you can just crank it. Just an album to relax to and really chill out. Up next, I got this for my birthday. Sweetgrass Music Festival up in Canada. Willie Mitchell, Willie Thrasher, Roger House. It's kind of like a compilation live cut. Indigenous music. It's powerful. Birch Bark Letter, Spirit Child, Killing Your Mind. It's, I don't know. It takes me to a whole new world. It's just amazing. This is a pretty rare record, but that's besides the point. A great starting place, because you can't find this anywhere digitally, is Indigenous North America, folk rock country, 1967 to 85, by Light in the Attic. I believe I got some of that correct, not all of it. Compiled by Light in the Attic Records. It's what got me hooked to this. I'm digging into so much Indigenous music right now, and it's just amazing. So organic, so real. Honor tribal land every day. Every time you wake up, think about it. Good stuff. But yeah, let me just say, Birch Bark Letter holds some serious connotations to my current state. Another record I got on my birthday, Beatles, 1967 to 1970. This is like a mid-70s repress, or reissue. Who cares? It's the Beatles. One side every year, kind of retrospective. I was more interested in it just for Don't Let Me Down, because that's my favorite Beatles song of all time. And it's for a fair price, so it's good. Support local record stores. But yeah, it's, each side is basically a year in the Beatles' history. It's one to just toss on if you want to listen to the Beatles on wax and, think of it like a playlist. Up next, Brian Eno, Another Green World, his third album. I didn't listen to this album before I bought it, but, I saw Brian Eno at my local shop, and I'm like, I as well grab that because it's Brian Eno. I love Brian Eno, mainly his later stuff. I haven't gotten into him that much, but this was a trip. Very interesting music. I was just definitely thinking Robert Fripp soundscapes, and also like music for airports and Apollo. I was totally wrong. This is definitely like some poppy rock that is really, you get the hints of his ambient tendencies coming in, and then you get Robert Fripp guitar solo shredding your ears out. It was just a very cohesive album. It was very fun. It's definitely one I'm going to have to grow to more and listen to more as time progresses. But yeah, I feel like there's some lyrical themes just by reading the title of it that I didn't pick up on when I listened to it on Saturday that are extremely relevant, like most of this music. And finally, Grover Washington Jr., Inner City Blues. How could I not listen to this and pick up this classic? Grover Washington Jr. is an absolute legend. He just combined so many genres. And then like these arrangements on this album, like Inner City Blues, I Loves You Porgy, with a little bit of soul fusion, getting into some funk. It's on Motown, so what do you expect? But it's just so amazing. And you got Ron Carter on bass. It's an all-star lineup. Grover Washington Jr. definitely deserves the respect that he has gotten over the years, and the recognition, because of these arrangements. They're so tight and they're so heavy. It's, I listened to this album on Saturday, and it just took me to a whole new world. 30 minutes felt like 2 hours. Yeah. So yeah, that's my music. This has been Fulton at Laser, Lute Air Student Radio. Don't want to hold you guys for a while. Yeah. Check us out on Instagram at Laser Radio. We also have a TikTok. It's just Laser Radio, I believe. Yeah. And be sure to donate to the machine shop if you can. It's totally not laser related. That's my own personal agenda. But yeah. Hope everyone's having a good day. Don't let the election get you down. I'm going to try to ignore it as long as possible. There's so much to love and so much to enjoy right now instead of focusing on all that big bureaucratic BS. Vote in your local elections. If you haven't voted already, well, please do so as safely as you can. Drop by the ballot box. Do whatever you can to vote. Yeah. Anyways, have a great Tuesday, everyone. Nice seeing you.